in today's news, lots of news on horse racing.
BVI hosts the 8th meeting of the Inter-Virgin Islands Council.
Cyberbullying legislation stalled due to freedom of speech concerns.
Mail set to launch in Nevis, West Indies.
BVI Airways investigation reports finally completed.
And the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force detectives seeks the public's assistance in the unsolved murder of Eron Charles. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
What are you really running for, boss? You could have bust a hole in your head. But see, with the competition, which means you're about to bust a hole in your pocket.
I could get my modem, please.
Anyhow, I got something huge to show you.
I gotta be sick in your head.
The whole on string bean, Tina kind of party. Check this. That's LTE1 for just about everyone. LTE2 for you and your boo. And hold on. Bam! Rate so low, you feel like you're free. That's LTE3 for you and the whole family.
Save even more on your internet with new pricing from CCT. Get LTE 2 now for only $149. Get LTE 3 for the new low price of $189. All packages are unlimited, so there's no overage charge. You don't have to run into Chaz for savings. Just stop by our store and sign up today. Come on over to CCT. Life Unlimited.
Welcome everybody. It's Tuesday, February 4th, 2020. A terrific Tuesday that is in the beautiful British Virgin Islands. I'm Ron Grant.
And I'm Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
You like my terrific Tuesday?
Jake gets me every time.
This weekend marked the conclusion of the Boxing Day races at the Ellis Thomas Downs, which had been cancelled for two previous occasions because of inclement weather. Horse race enthusiasts from the BVI and a USVI came out for an afternoon of fun races. The first race of the day, which was a 6.5 furlong run for Class D horses, was won by Uncle Mace from Top Priority Racing Stables. The race carried a purse of $5,000. The other two participants were God's Greatness and A's Stable and Baby George from Top Priority Racing Stables. The second race of the day was not held because the horses scheduled to run that race didn't make it up from St. Thomas. Courage and Honor from the BVI's Top Priority Racing Stables took home the feature prize of $10,500. Only 3 horses took part in that 1.5 feature mile race, which was Class D and C horses. Now, Salsa Jack from Thomasville Racing Stables finished second with Barras Key from the Brothers Stable out of St. Thomas finished in third place. The second highest paid race with a purse of $7,000 was a 1-mile race for Class B horses, which went to Chavons from the BVI, the boys racing stables in the BVI. They took home that win, Kyla. Now in the second race was Sol Jet from St. Thomas, followed by One Way to Fame from Mission House Racing Stables. In the meantime, my running mate from the Brothers Stables took home the grand prize of $5,000 in the subsequent race. This race was a 1-mile sprint for Class C and D horses. In the second position was Jordan's Salsa from St. Thomas Iron Hammer Racing Stables, followed by Formal Talent, also from St. Thomas No Limit Racing Stables. In the race number 4, Flashing Cat from St. Thomas No Limit Racing Stables won the 1-mile race and took home the purse of $6,000. Very happy to see many persons came out. Despite of the activity, it was Super Bowl weekend. It was a big weekend, so persons still found the time to come out to the races, and I think we need to do that, continue to do that.
People support the races.
Yeah.
People love it every single time, so we have to keep that up. But actually, in our next story, Ron,
Yes.
after the horse racing over the weekend, Mr. Lesmore Smith, president of the Virgin Islands Horse Owners Association, continues to lobby the government's intervention as it relates to the sport of horse racing. Reports were made that Mr. Smith may be at a point of giving up.
Really?
He pleads with the government and other investors to give the association a hand. Ron, to hear all that we just, announcing the winners and how much fun over the weekend might have been, for some, like Mr. Smith, it's a burden.
It's a burden. Well, one of the things, Kyla, I think we need to look at, particularly the government of the Virgin Islands as it pertains to horse racing in the Virgin Islands, it cannot be a one-man show. for a very long time, whomever the president of the Horse Owners Association is at the time seems to always be the one pushing the mantle and taking and spearheading, and that's fine, but it needs to be a collective effort. So
I agree. And horse racing has been a big part of our culture.
Absolutely.
My dad is a big fan of horse racing. It goes on from generation to generation. Even horse owners who have, reared horses and bring them up, that is a tradition within itself, and we can't let it die. Of course, the conversation about pari-mutuel betting
is a big
that
one.
has been a big thing. Persons believe that if legislation were passed for betting in the BVI, this would somewhat enhance the experience.
I agree, definitely. When you look at the issue of pari-mutuel betting, it pretty much goes hand in hand with the sport. And I think if the government of the day is to take it seriously, that's something that we really need to focus in on. And my sympathies, to be honest with you, goes out to Mr. Smith, because he does make a really, really hefty effort. But again, just like I said to you, it cannot be an individual effort. It has to be a collective effort. And I think for right now, that's the problem we're facing.
I agree. And when you were calling up the winners, one of the races were actually canceled because the horses didn't make it up. And we have to realize that the U.S. Virgin Islands, those horses coming over, that's a big part of horse racing, but we have to make it somewhat worthwhile.
I agree. They support us very much as it pertains to horse racing over in the U.S. Virgin Islands. They are some of our biggest participants. We would not be able to host the races without their support. So we definitely need to look at it, and I employ the government just like he has been employing the government to. Let's particularly come up with a solution, particularly the Minister of Education and Culture, to see the best way for us to really solidify and move forward with the sport.
I agree.
Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Andrew A. Foy, has hosted talks with the Governor of the United States Virgin Islands today. The Honorable Albert Bryan, Jr., and officials of his administration were on Tortola. Premier Foy said the Inter-Virgin Islands Council meeting is being convened to discuss matters of mutual interest. He said that it is imperative that officials of the two territories meet as the policies and laws enacted by their respective governments significantly impact the lives of the people of the Virgin Islands on either side. The Premier said, and I quote, "It is important that we coordinate our policies because we are two distinctly different territories under different governance systems with one people sharing the same waters. As Virgin Islanders, we are innovators and have the ability to work together in unison to find solutions and innovative strategies to protect our borders and market our tourism industries," Premier Foy added. Now, the Inter-Virgin Islands Council is a formal side of the BVI-USVI relationship and brings together the Premier of the BVI and the Governor of the USVI as co-chairs of the Council. Government officials and policymakers and their counterparts will explore different ways to work together to find solutions to various problems throughout the territory and introduce initiatives designed to improve the quality of life for the people of the two territories. The Premier further stated that his government's commitment to hold these talks reaffirms his commitment to strengthening regional and international relations as well as maintaining its close ties with the USVI. Initiatives up to discussed today were coordination of precautionary measures on the coronavirus, air traffic coordination, cruise line coordination, forming and organizing tourism strategies, airport and seaport development, joint marketing and public relations initiatives between the USVI and BVI, fishing matters, the inter-territorial cooperation between the BVI and USVI, charter yacht companies, and border security. Now, the Inter-Virgin Islands Council was established on Saturday, May 29th, 2004, after former USVI Governor Dr. Charles Turnbull and then Chief Minister Dr. the Honorable D. Orlando Smith, OBE, signed a joint memorandum of understanding. The Council's first meeting convened on St. Croix in April of 2005. This is the Council's first meeting since both territories were damaged by Hurricanes Irma and Maria in September of 2017. Kyla, I think this is a great meeting that needs to be continued, and I think it's a step in the right direction when both territories can come together, both the leaders of both territories and their policymakers can come together and just find solutions to the ever increasing problems that we both face.
Agreed.
Yeah, definitely. Still ahead, a special interview with Mr. Henderson Tittle as Mail is set to launch in Nevis, West Indies. This and so much more after a word from our sponsors. Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
When you need
Well. Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284 Media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages.
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. As promised, Mr. Henderson Tittle of Mail is in studios to talk about the expansion of the organization. Ron, right over to you.
Thank you very much, Kyla, and viewers. As she said, with me is the one and only Mr. Henderson Tittle of Mail. Welcome to 284 Media.
Thank you very much, Ron, and it's a pleasure being here.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure having you. Now, something pretty remarkable is happening. In just 6 years of Mail being incorporated and been functioning in the BVI, we are now going over to Nevis, West Indies. Tell me about this whole addition and expansion.
I was very excited when it first mentioned to me. I see it as something very wonderful. Miss Yolandi Castro, who used to reside here in the BVI, her son used to be a part of the program.
Okay.
And she decided to move back home. And after maybe a year home, she thought it would be fitting to have the program in Nevis, her hometown.
Wow. So when exactly is the program going to kick off in Nevis? When is it going to begin?
Well, the truth is, last week they had their first meeting.
Okay, good.
And according to report, it went well. I'm heading down this weekend just to see how everything is going. I'm all excited because I can't wait to see it. I want them to outshine Tortua, being honest, because it's like the offspring. And sometimes the stepchild normally get a little bit more attention.
A little bit more treatment.
At times.
Yeah. Now, for persons in the community who may not be aware, tell us what the aim and mission of Mail is all about.
It's twofold. There are young men in our communities today that doesn't have a good relationship with their father for some reason or the other. Like myself, I didn't grow up with my father. I didn't get to know him until I was 25.
Okay.
And there are young men who the relationships somewhere along the line have been damaged. So one of the aim for Mail is to bridge that gap and to form that bond between father and son, and also for young men who have grown up with their father, like you, be able to share with the rest of the young men how it is and how it was growing up with their father, because we all need to hear the both side and how it was.
Interesting. Let me ask you this. In all humility and in all honesty, when you first started the organization and the vision first came, did you ever have the intention or the idea that it would now be transitioning or expanding to another island?
The truth is no, because all I wanted to do was to be a mentor. What happened is that I started to assist in the social development Big Brother, Big Sister program. And that's where it started. And never thought that one day this program would have gone to another island, because all I wanted to do was to be a better father, first of all, to my two children, a better father than mine was. And along the path, I met some young men who had trouble just like myself and share some stuff with me. And I started to meet with them.
Okay.
I started to visit some of them, get themselves on the wrong side of the law, find themselves in prison. So I started to go to the prison, I started to visit them. And that's where it really started. I had a chat with Mr. Baltimore,
Yes.
Senior, who was a police officer for years. And out of that conversation, along with a discussion with Pastor John Ivan Klein, because his aim was to save the seed. So I think out of all of that, the whole idea of just moving a little further, we decided to form an organization called MAIL.
Amazing. Now, what can the people of Nevis expect? Because we have quite a large following from St. Kitts and Nevis, West Indies. So give the persons who may be listening in that area an idea of what they can expect from this organization that is now expanding to Nevis, West Indies.
Well, one of the things that we focus on values. So the core values, respect, integrity, discipline. So we want to create an environment where young men can feel free and feel at ease to demonstrate their true potential. So we are going to offer different classes. One of them will be our spiritual aspect, because we are coming from a spiritual background also. Man is made of both physical and spiritual.
Indeed.
So one of the things that we're going to focus on the core value to develop that aspect of their life. Then we want to assist also in the academic area. We trying to go back to the culture, because some of the young men have lost that sense of direction. Okay. So we're trying to bring them back to that place where they're now involved in maybe a little fishing, maybe a little domino playing, stuff like that, the fun side of it. Then we want to bring out the art in them, you know, those who like to sing, those who like to dance, you know, creative art. That's one of the area also we want to develop also. Not only that, but we want to groom young men who can take over and say, okay,
leaders,
I am going to be a father that people can look up to, a father that can help to lead the way. Because most of the time, I think we as men, we get a lot of bashing,
absolutely,
you know, from the ladies.
Indeed.
You know? And sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's very difficult. Most of the time, people fail to understand that for a young lady, it's easier because she somewhat is sheltered.
Okay.
For us as young men, we were somewhat or the other left by ourselves to figure things out.
Absolutely.
Mom will call the girl in the kitchen if she's cooking and you know, she's doing stuff, and she will get to see.
She'll be nurtured.
Right. Most of us in the Caribbean, the father might be there and still not. You know, we get the present, but the present is not there.
Definitely.
So that's one of the struggle, and we're trying to bridge that gap. And we're not saying that all of the young men are like that. That's why it's twofold, because we want to see the young men who are fortunate enough to grow up in a wholesome household where mom and dad is there, and you see their fight, you see their makeup. They need to bring that to the table also,
absolutely,
so that we can learn from it, and we're just building better men. That's the whole idea.
Well, Brother Tito, I am absolutely proud of yourself and your organization and the men that you work with on a daily basis to instill values in our young generation of men. And I must commend you, I must congratulate you guys on now branching off. One of the things that I think is very important in our society is once something is working, it's similar to a business, once it's working and it's profit, then we see where we could expand and help others. And just like you and your organization did, you guys are now branching off to Nevis, West Indies, and I think it is commendable. We want to wish the male students, the young men of Nevis, all the best in their success. We support you. I want to also take this opportunity to encourage men in our society, both here in the Virgin Islands as well as over in Nevis, who may be interested in becoming volunteers, who see themselves as that suitable candidate to instill values in young men. I think this is an important and very imperative opportunity for you to come in and step and share some of your wisdom.
You know, Ron, The strange thing about it, when we launch male in the BVI, we launch male. But Yolande decided that she's going to launch male and female altogether.
Interesting.
So there will be a female version. She'll be working with the female version, and Officer Dreffers,
Okay.
who is one of our firefighters there in Nevis, he's going to make sure he keep an eye on the young men. So it's
Great stuff.
twofold, and I'm all excited. I'm overwhelmed. I can't wait to get there on Friday to see exactly what's going on Saturday. I'm all excited.
Nice.
And to the Father be the glory, man.
All the glory. And of course, we here at 284 Media, we're going to keep you on your toes. We're going to be in contact with you to make sure that the organization is still doing well, both here in the BVI as well as Nevis. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. Kyla, back to you.
Ron, amazing interview with Mr. Tittle. And even as a female, I want to thank Mr. Tittle and his organization for building better communities, because, of course, without our young men, we would not be anything. So it's male. This organization is very important, and we just want to show gratitude to the people and the organization of male. So as we move on, yesterday during the governor's address to the media, he revealed that the delay to the cybercrime bill is as a result of free speech concerns that were flagged. The issues must be resolved before a decision is made on the bill. Now, the cyberbullying legislation proposed stiffer penalties for several issues such as data theft, cyberbullying, digital blackmail, and other cybercrimes. Offenders could receive a maximum of 7 years and a fine not exceeding $200,000 or both if found guilty at the magistrate court. If found guilty at the high court, the penalties are much higher. Offenders can face up to 14 years behind bars or be fined up to $500,000 or both if a judge sees fit. From the inception of this bill, international watchdogs and free speech groups had criticized the bill over what appeared, in their opinion, to be legislative's attempts to silence the media. Now, the director of advocacy at the International Press Institute, Ravi R. Prasad, has expressed concerns with the act, citing that if the changes come into law, it would be used to prosecute and silence the media in the Virgin Islands. Premier Foy disagreed with these, of course, international watchdogs and the free speech entities. He accused them of attempting to stall the assent of this bill over their concerns and noted that the cybercrime bill is one that is urgently needed in the Virgin Islands. Still ahead, the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force detective seeks public assistance in the unsolved murder of Mr. Charles, and BVI Airway investigation report concluded. All this and more when 284 News returns.
How may I assist you? Yes. You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for calling CCT. Trumpet speaking. How can I help? Well, so you know February is the month of love. Yes, and we all love data. And because we love you so much, yes, we decided to give double data. But wait, let me slow it down for you. Follow my voice. Activate any hero plan, double data. Activate any 2 gig plan, double data. It don't stop there. Pay your bill before February 12th and have a chance to win a lunch or dinner for 2. Yes, I said it. For 2.
Double the data and double the fun when you fall in love with our deals for the month of February. Activate a Hero Plan or 2 GB data plan and get double data. That's enough for you and your boo or your crew. And don't miss out on the chance to win lunch or dinner for two if you pay your bill before February 12th. Activate any Hero Plan or 2 GB data plan. Come enjoy the month of love on us.
Thank you for calling CCT. Have a blessed day. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for calling CCT. Trumpet speaking. How can I help? Well,
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Ron, I just have to say once again, an amazing interview with Mr. Tittle.
Thank you.
His mail organization definitely needed in our Virgin Islands.
Indeed. And in regards to your story as it pertains to the Cybercrime Act, I do think the concerns by the authorities are warranted. It is important that any society within the Virgin Islands has a media that is free and can articulate the issues that are plaguing the society. So be it known that at all, the media in the Virgin Islands does not plan to be silenced, at least 284 Media, that's for sure. I'm just saying.
As we move on, viewers, do you remember the BVI Airways deal? Yes, the one that cost the one that cost the BVI taxpayers over $7 million in exchange for direct flights between the BVI and Miami. The deal fell through and the airline never set flight. The government up to this day is still trying to collect the funds that were invested into this deal. Well, viewers, on July 28, 2018, Governor Jasper announced that the Auditor General, Ms. Soner Webster, is conducting an audit into the BVI Airways deal. So, Ron, this has been
an ongoing saga,
such a controversy since about 2016. Yes. Of course, the investigation was only launched in 2018, and then around November last year, the government did announce that the report was soon coming, and he recently announced yesterday that it's actually concluded. Of course, he have not yet got it in hand.
And spoke about the findings, but we're looking forward to see what happens.
I do agree. A lot has happened with, the NDP government was actually the government at that
Smith
time, and they got a lot. They were put under a lot of
as they
scrutiny.
should, rightfully. So that's over $7-point-something million, and you or your administration have no idea where it went. So I think the scrutiny that they received was warranted. Yeah.
Yes. So of course, as soon as the governor gets it in hand, he will review it, and then he has up to 3 months to pass it on to the House of Assembly. So I know the people of the Virgin Islands are ready to hear what's in that report. And of course, 284 Media will have all the details for you as soon as it is released.
Indeed. And viewers, on to our final story of the newscast. Detectives from the Major Crime Investigations Team of the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force are once again seeking the public's assistance in identifying those responsible for the murder of 34-year-old Eron Charles and injuring 17-year-old Gulki Thomas on Sunday, February 3rd, 2019, at around 9:30 p.m., both victims were at the basketball court in Humpton's Gut when two unidentified persons arrived in their location and fired a number of gunshots in their direction. Immediately after the shots were fired, two males were seen fleeing from the scene. Both victims sustained gunshot wounds. Eron Charles died as a result of his injuries, and fortunately, Mr. Thomas survived. This month marks the first anniversary of his death, and the currently in undetected act. Detectives, however, are still hopeful that members of the community may have crucial information that may assist in identifying those responsible for this senseless shooting and to bring closure to the grieving families. Now, the father of Eron Charles has joined the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force in making a special appeal to the public for assistance. He said, and I quote, "It's been a year and our lives will never be the same again. We are appealing for persons with information about the homicide of my son, Eron Charles, to step up and come forward. There is somebody walking around who took the life of an aspiring young man. It was my son. Who will it be next? Will it be your children, a family member? Please, I am urging you, don't sit by sit by idly and wait until your homes have been shattered by the same acts of cowardly violence. It could have been your son, your loved one. Find it in your heart to come forward and give any relevant information you may be thinking by the missing clue that authorities may need to apprehend the person or persons responsible for this heinous crime. If you have any information that will help solve this crime and stop those forms of violence, please, please, we are pleading for your help. Anyone with information, of course, relating to these crimes are urged to contact Detective Inspector Vernon LaCroix directly on 268-9809 on the Major Crime Investigation Team or 368-5 682. All information is said to will be treated in the strictest of confidence. Very sad story, and these sort of issues cannot be solved without community participation.
Agreed, and we remember when this actually happened,
Yes, of
and the
course.
fact that it is a
year
whole
already,
year.
yeah.
That's crazy. But hopefully
Time is
someone
flying,
will.
yes.
Hopefully. But viewers, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to like us on Facebook at 284 Media and 284 BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
And I'm Ron Grant. We'll see you again tomorrow as we deliver your daily dose of local, regional, and of course international content. We are 284 News, your source for honest and impartial news. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Bye-bye.